Welcome to the Contractors Secret Weapon Radio Podcast, the show dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, and others in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over their competition. Get ready for some inspiration, some encouragement, some proven business building strategies, and a couple of new ideas that can take your business to the next level and beyond. And now, broadcasting from the Contractors Secret Weapon Studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dave Negri.
Write it down so I don't forget. Hey, this is Dave Negri, your co-host for Contractor Secret Weapon here in sunny Florida in the middle of the winter.
Well, here's your other co-host, Pete Mitchell, here in sunny Southern California, which it's always sunny here. But we actually had rain for the first time last week. That was kind of strange for us. We were like, what is this liquid coming down from the ceiling? I don't understand.
And it's not normal?
Not for us.
Really?
No, you guys are the ones that have rain every day, even though it's 110 degrees outside.
Nah, you know what? It's never reached 100 degrees where I live.
Oh, really?
Never.
Every time.
Right now it's 70. Now you go to Orlando, it'll hit 100, 105 easy.
Yeah.
So
How
that's
far
like
away from where do you live?
About an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I live right on the coast.
Wasn't that
between
the time
the coast
I met you in Orlando? Didn't I meet you in Orlando?
Yeah, we were in Orlando, I think, at the same time.
Yeah,
so we went out
you
to
were
dinner.
there for something, I think.
Yeah. But where I live, there's always, like, I live in Tampa Bay, so you've got the breeze coming in from the ocean on one side, and you've got the breeze coming in from the ocean on the other side. So it's always nice right here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we don't want anybody more moving here. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Dude, man, I don't want to move there because I don't want to be a UPS driver in your state.
Well, what can I tell you? Why not?
You saw the cops killed the UPS driver. And the bystanders. Dude, I'm telling you, it was funny. I just got done doing the From Concealment podcast. You'll have to listen to next week's episode because we totally talk about that. We're like, as a civilian, you need to know your background, what's happening behind your target. As a cop, you can do whatever you want, but civilians, we're the ones that are going to go to jail for shooting people that shouldn't.
You know, that's one of my. I know we're getting off topic here, but I know that's one of my concerns as a concealed carry is that there has to be, as to be a responsible gun carrier.
Oh yeah,
you have to think about what's going to happen when I do.
Right. Yeah.
And what could happen. You know, there's so many things. You just have to be, it's not just.
Well, see, the other thing too is like, and I was bringing this up on the podcast. So I work security at my church once a month for the kids area. And so, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, so let's say a bad actor shows up. For me, I have to think through that before I'm actually, quote unquote, on the job. It's a volunteer thing, right? But before I'm there, I got to think, okay, if someone were to come from this direction, where do I need to be? Where do they need to be? Where do I not take a shot from? Because I got kids, like they're small. And even though the room is up a step, that means they're literally in the line of fire. So you could not, try and stop the bad actor with a gun if he's in certain spots. Because what if it goes through him? What if you miss? More likely you're going to miss because the adrenaline's pumping, everything else.
Yeah. I have a guy in church. He was a New York City cop. And he goes, dude, he said, once your adrenaline gets pumping, he said, I ran around the corner shooting at a guy 5 feet away and I couldn't hit him.
Yeah.
Because there's so much adrenaline.
Oh.
But after the podcast, I'll tell you what kind of round we use in church so it'll be deadly but not lethal to anybody else.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear that. No doubt. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're totally off the subject.
So let's get on today's subject.
But hey, let's face it. If you're a contractor, come on. You probably carry a piece in your vehicle anyway. I mean...
responsible contractors do, right?
You have to. Think about where you go. You don't know these people. You don't know anything about them. But anyway, guys, before we get on to today's subject, and Dave got some great insight. that he's going to go into and we're going to kind of discuss. I want to let everyone know. So Dave and I have reformatted our 9 steps and put them in a different order, an order that I think makes a little bit more sense. So if you haven't gotten our Contractor's Secret Weapon solution, it's the 9 steps to perfecting your business. Same 9 steps we talked about. We just put them in a different order that I think the flow works a little bit better. If you want to double the number of clients you have in the next 60 days without spending any more money on advertising, then get this. And the easiest way to get that is you can go to our website. We'll put everything here in the show notes. Also, VIPboardroom.com/8X, just the number 8 and the letter X will take you there. And also, we're going to give you, if you want to get a copy of the transcript, first time we've done this, copy of the transcript of this episode along with those 9 steps, then text our episode number, which is just the number 315. Our automated system is going to do this if you just type in the number 315 to our hotline, which is 850-990-2020. 850-990-2020. Give you some 2020 vision for next year, and you'll get
in 2020.
In 2020 and 2020, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I could get that number. That's why I bought it. I'm like, I'm going to figure out something to do with this number. I don't even know where 850 area code is, but it was a great number. So yeah, 315-85. The 315 is the episode number. Send that to 850-990-2020, and we'll put all this in the show notes so you can do it there as well. But that, Dave, you had some thoughts on your avatar, which is step 1 in the Contractor Secret Weapon solution. So why don't we kind of start with that?
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking about the other day is I was thinking about our progression of steps and the avatar. Everybody pretty much knows what the avatar is. Who's your ideal client? In our 2-day or 3-day intensive, whatever we do, we're going to really go deep into that. But one of the things I was thinking about, because I have depending on your business, does your business have more than one avatar? And if you do, are you marketing to all your avatars the same way and expecting the same results? And more than likely, everyone's saying yes. So I know for a fact that roofers have more than one avatar.
Sure.
They may have 4 or 5, depending on the value of the house, whether it's a shingle roof, whether it's a tile roof, whether it's a metal roof, and whether it's commercial. And then they have repairs. So basically, that's just 6.
Mm.
So how do you market to each avatar so that it becomes effective? You got to find out who they are. So one of the conversations I had, just to go back, metal roof, everyone knows is an expensive investment into your property. And most people don't buy metal because they don't want to pay the price. Most people look at what's my initial investment, or nobody thinks about investing in their house. How much do I have to pay?
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm sitting
and by the way, that depends on what part of the country you're in, because we don't have metal roofs here in California.
Okay.
It doesn't rain enough. We just don't have them.
Well, they're probably one of the best insulators. I know you got tile, you got shingle.
We do. We have tile.
You probably have some cedar shake, maybe.
The old school ones, yeah.
Yeah, we have some of those around here too, even in Florida, which is kind of crazy. But I was at a home show with a roofer friend of mine, and we're talking about profitability. You know, what roof do you have the best margins on? And he goes, by far, metal. By far.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's labor intensive to put on. It's not inexpensive. So let's say, and I don't know what this was, let's say 4 or 5 years ago. So everything's going up. I think back then, shingle roof was like It's going to be different for every part of the country, but it was like $350 a square.
Mm.
Metal was double, but it was also almost double the life expectancy. I just kid people, they come up and say, "Well, you thinking about a metal roof?" "Oh, no, that's too expensive." I said, "Well, you can put it in the will to your kids. Come on, that it'll last that long." And so they've got a very long shelf expectancy. So we're talking about that, and I go,
"What's longer? Is it metal or tile?"
Actually, metal lasts longer.
Okay, because I thought tile was like 75 years or something.
Well, now the tile itself may last it, but you've got the underlayment.
Oh, gotcha.
So everything is, there's little, but so I said to him, I said, we talked about the highest profitability or highest margin. He said, the metal was, and I said, who buys your metal roofs? I said, is it a certain income range? Is it a certain ethnicity? Is it, a certain house, value? And he goes, well, all those are important. He said, but actually, as I go to think about it, most of the people who buy metal roofs from us are Asian. And I go, do you know why? He goes, have no clue. I said, I can tell you why, and I haven't even done a whole lot of research about it, except I know that Asians buy for the long haul. Always do. They always weigh the odds. Is it going to be an investment or an expense? And if they can figure out how to make it an investment, then they'll spend the money because they know they're getting the value for the money they're spending. So it's sort of like a legacy thing.
Right.
I think, and I may be wrong, but I know that they do weigh it out. They do weigh out that cost. And if it's so, the longer it is, and ultimately the cheaper it is. So if you can get 25 or 30 years on a shingle, and you can get 50 or 60 on a metal, then you break down that cost, and by far it's cheaper in the end.
Right.
It's worth paying the difference. So it's like my two daughters. I have one daughter who looks at the sale, and I have one daughter who looks at the value. So my oldest daughter looks and see how much she can get for the money she's spending. My other daughter looks at how long will it last me for what I'm spending. So she'll buy clothes that are more because she knows they're going to last longer. She's not going to have to replace them. Shoes and stuff like that, even vehicles. And that's how she looks. But they've always been like that.
Right.
But it's kind of interesting on just to watch how they look at them. So do you have multiple, types of avatars? You have different customers who buy different things from your business that you can actually put them into a category, and then individually, as far as a category, set up a marketing piece specifically for them, for the products that that type of clientele is buying. Right. So we have a tendency to say, well, and my customer lives in a $400,000 house and above. He may be married, maybe not be, but he's between 45 and 60 years old. Is professional, who makes over $200,000 a year, and so on. So that's good for my business, but it may not be for somebody else's business. Because now if you take the roofer who does shingle, he may have two different avatars and two different price ranges. So the one now, because he's got homes 100,000 to 300,000, we're financing the roof would get them in the door, as opposed to people who have $400,000 or $500,000 houses, where more than likely they're going to pay cash. So it's just some things to think about. The
other thing too that I think too many people do too quickly is I really think that most businesses need to zero in on a specific avatar, build that all out before start adding other avatars to their business.
I agree. I agree.
And so, you know, a lot of times people say, well, you know what, I can help anyone, right? I can help anyone who's got a roof. I can help them. Well, okay, just because you can do it doesn't mean that's your perfect avatar, right? So like you said, hey, if you know the Asian community loves the metal roof and you've got a chunk of them already as clients,
oh yeah,
then why don't you focus on that group and max everything out, maximize all of your marketing, your messaging, everything, so it speaks directly to that avatar. And you get that thing up and running, and that thing is like, you know, tearing ahead. And then you start going, well, okay, now I need to add, you know, this avatar. I need to add the CEO avatar, because it may not be an ethnicity, right? The next one might be, well, you know, it's a profession. You know, I was talking with one realtor, and they were telling me that the bulk of their clients worked at the local hospital. They were either doctors or nurses. And doctors, one of the problems that they have is their income, like they've got all this student loan debt, you know, sometimes a couple $100,000. And I think it's their residency is what they're doing, and they're making like nothing, and they got these huge payments. And so it's really hard for them to buy a home. And that's why he specialized in that, because he knew how to basically work the whole thing with the mortgage company. So that way the mortgage company was happy based on what they were going to make once they were done with their residency and all this other stuff, right? But he was really good at that. So it was like, okay, focus on that avatar.
Yeah.
Like, don't leave that avatar. Like, no one else is doing that. So be that person to that group. And so it may not be an ethnicity is what I'm getting at. It could be a profession.
Oh, yeah.
It could be a general location, a geographic avatar. You know, hey, I help people in, like, I live in a little city called Rossmore. And if you just said, okay, I'm going to focus on Rossmore, you'd look at, you know, basically the people who live here. What is their age? Are they empty nesters? Are they, young kids? What's their situations? That way you could focus all of your marketing towards that avatar, and it speaks directly to them.
I have one long guy I know who his avatar honestly lives between this street, this street, this street, and this street.
Right.
In a development. If you call him and say, I live one street away from where you are, he say, I'm sorry, we don't service that area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He straight turns it down.
He just straight turns it down because his profitability is keeping everything tight. So he focuses on, interacting with everybody in those areas that he works, and he doesn't go outside.
Yeah.
So it's like picking a 2 square mile or 5 square mile of your business. Say, I'm not going outside that.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys that I know that it's business. I'm going to travel an hour. Yeah. It's the hour travel. It's doing the work. It's the hour back.
Yeah.
But if I can do the same thing in 5 minutes travel, why would I travel the hour?
Exactly.
Unless, and then there again, if you're building your business, then build it according to geographical locations. I've got a crew that goes here. I've got a crew that goes here. I've got a crew that goes here. And so now you're building your profitability still according to geographics or avatars.
I remember distinctly, I was in a training years ago as a financial planner. And there was this other guy who was there who was from, I don't know, like Alabama or Louisiana, some non-California state. That's all I remember. Whoa, that was loud. Sorry, that was Wayne behind me sneezing. I think he had a little sneeze there. I don't remember what state it was that he was in, but we were talking to him because he was literally driving all over the state to meet with clients. I mean, we're talking, I don't care what state you're in. It's going to take you, unless you're in Rhode Island, it's going to take you a few hours to get to the other side of any state.
Absolutely.
And he was like, yeah, but we're statewide. Like, he was so proud that he was statewide that was the reason. And I was like, yeah, I'm profitable. Like, that's what drives me is the profit. not the ego of I want to be able to tell everyone I'm statewide.
Yeah, or I'm 24 hours. Ugh.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get that. I think I think that's great that guy picked his profitability area, and even if you're a street away, I think the downside is what's going to happen with some people, especially in the contracting world, is your potential client is going to want to negotiate. And that's the problem. So like, even if you said, okay, if I were to take another street, I got to add on 5% or 10%. Like if we're going to go out there, this is what the price is. The problem is they're still going to want to negotiate. And so I don't even know if it would work. And that's why I'm so proud of what that guy did. But I don't know if it would work as if you would say, hey, look, we don't service that area. For us to come all the way out there, we'd have to charge you, $880 instead of $800 to do that. And most people don't want to pay that premium. If you're willing to pay it, we can come out there and do it. But just so you know, there is no wiggle room on that price.
Right.
Even then, and then it's almost like you're letting them graciously say, well, no, that's okay. I'm not really interested. Because they all want to negotiate. Because that would be the thing. Like, even if you made it $880 and you came out there, oh, well, can I get a deal? I need $100 off, or I need, and then they start the negotiation jazz.
Yeah,
and then you wasted your time because you went to a house outside your area and it's too far. You already knew that.
Yeah. I just tell them I'm not Publix.
Yeah. Well, I know. Right. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to, like, your price is your price. What I usually do is I will include bonuses with what I'm doing. So I'll give you a great example. One of my clients, she came to me, and so I gave her a proposal. It was like 10 grand for option 1, 12.5 for option 2, and 15 for option 3. And I didn't know that she'd already paid 60 grand to the guy before. So I was so much lower than that other guy that she was probably like, all right, I got a deal. And I'm killing myself today just thinking how much money I lost, right? And she's like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the 15,000. And you could tell she wanted to negotiate. Like, she wanted to bring it down. She's never been someone who has haggled on my price. Never. Right. But I could tell she wanted something. So all I did is I said, hey, look, and this is, my marketing business, and she's in the info business. And so I've got a publishing company saying, when you're in the coaching and info business, it's good to have a book, right? To be an author. So I'm like, look, I got a publishing company. I charge $2,500 to publish a book. I will give you credit for 3 books. I will publish 3 books for you. And that $7,500, you won't have to pay. That'll be included in this $15,000.
Sweet.
Well, that was enough to push her over the edge. And I knew my hard costs on that were $100 a book, because the rest of it was just time. And I've done it so much. I'm like, dude, that's like nothing, right? It's really just knowing how to do it. That's what people are paying for. And I still don't think I've done all 3 books. I think I only did 2. And I know I put a time limit on it because I didn't want those hanging over my head forever.
Yeah.
And, but that's how I did it. That's how I got the deal. I didn't want to go down because I wouldn't go down in price. And I used that as an example with her over the years. She'd go, hey, this guy wants to negotiate. This is what he wants. And I go, remember what I did with you. I didn't lower my price. I increased my value.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to increase the value. That's what she did.
And that's times, I think we talked about this Saturday on the mastermind, the other mastermind, is that, Dan Kennedy was famous in saying, if you can't never compete apples to apples, always compete apples to oranges. And how do you do that? Well, you never go head to head. You always give value that you know that you can live with, that the other person would never think of.
Right. Yeah.
That's and 9 times out of 10, you'll get it, because most people really are seeking value. Am I going to get what I'm paying for? And maybe a little bit more, because they know that if, for the most part, if they negotiate price, it really doesn't sit well with everybody.
Right. With everybody.
They know that, maybe I'm stealing something from them. I don't know how people think. My philosophy is that if I want it, I'll do it. If I think the price is too high, then I'll tell you that I don't expect you to go down, but I'm just not willing to pay that price.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, I think I brought this up on one of our other episodes. I was going to have the ivy trimmed off of my back walls, all my fences. And my gardener said, hey, I'll do it for, I think he said he'd do it for $200. And I was like, dude, this is a huge job. And I know you got to pay someone else. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm going to give the guy $250. And he got sick, didn't show up for a month. I had to get someone else, and that guy came out, and he was like $500. And I mean, 2.5 times more than what my gardener was going to charge. But I did it because you know why? I needed to have the ivy taken off the wall, and I just needed the job done. It wasn't the money.
And sometimes you need to be the good guy. I mean, I had a guy that came out to my house, and he gave me a price for cutting the hedges, and I got a lot of hedges. It was like $75. And I said, you need to come out and walk the property with me because I want to make sure you're thinking what I'm thinking. And so I doubled the price. I said, I just wouldn't feel good with having you do it for this price.
Yeah, because you know how much work it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I wasn't going to pay my guy $200. I already knew it was going to pay him at least $250. Now, the 500 was high, and I knew it was high, and I knew he was just dinging me because of the neighborhood I live in.
Right.
I just needed it done. So it was like, whatever. I just need it done.
So it's the avatar. It's like, and like you said, find the one that you are getting most of your profit from, where you're getting your highest margin from. If you just start.
And I would say you enjoy working with.
Yeah, that's a big key.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever told you this. I was talking with a window cleaner guy once at a networking thing, and he was talking. It was really funny. He goes, he says, people who give me a hard time in the very beginning, I just look at them and say, listen, I only do business with people I like, and you're starting off on the wrong foot.
Wow.
And he said, you'd be surprised on how fast their attitude turns around.
Really? He actually said that to people?
He actually says that to people, yeah. I love it.
Wow. I can already see the Yelp reviews happening.
Yeah.
I think you should have to have done business with someone before you could write a Yelp review. The ones that I hate are, I called this guy, or this guy never called me back, or this, that, or the next. So why are you writing a Yelp review? You didn't work with the guy. You couldn't hire him.
I know I have one of my guys, I know he has an automatic texting platform, like you do. And so whenever you call or you ever come into his system, no matter what time it is, you'll automatically get a text that says that, we've gotten your information. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Well, some guy, he did it at 11 o'clock at night. He gets a text at 11:30, and he wants to know why he's getting a text at 11:30. And he writes it on the Google review. Dumb.
Yeah.
He said, I wouldn't do business with him anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, so here's the deal, guys. If you want to know more about developing your avatar, then your first step is going to be to text in to that number, 850-990-2020. You're going to text in today's episode number, just 315. We're going to give you a transcript of today's episode. We're also going to give you our Contractor Secret Weapon Solution, the 9 steps. And step number 1, narrowing your focus to your perfect avatar. And we just kind of briefly, we didn't really get into step number 2, which is creating your lead bait. But we're going to get into that more detail probably next week's episode. I think we should probably just start going through the 9 steps as we've got them laid out here. And,
sounds good.
And Dave and I are putting together our mastermind group. So if you want to know more about that, you got to text in. You got to get on our email list, or you're not going to know anything about that. And really what we focus on is your audience, the avenue to reach that audience, and then how to automate all of that So you just cash checks. Hey, worst case scenario.
You'll make some money.
There you go, right?
Hey.
There you go.
We need to get hats.
Worst case scenario, make some money.
You'll make some money.
I like it.
Listen to the podcast.
Worst case scenario, listen to the podcast. No. Cool. All right, my friend. Well, thanks so much for this episode. I think we got some great ideas for them.
I think so. Well, super. Everybody have a great week. We'll get you next week.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.